Oh, by the way, this is not sponsored. I've got like 600 subscribers on YouTube, so don't be thinking I'm being paid for doing this. Hello, my name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel, Megan Chan Vlogs, where I talk about fitness, travel and dogs. Today, we're going to be talking about Lingoda. Lingoda is an online language learning program. It offers English, business English, French, German, and Spanish. The idea of Lingoda is it is a conversation-based class. They are hour-long lessons, and the idea is you learn to speak like a native speaker. So I'm wanting to make this video because I think it's really useful to know sort of like how the program works, what you're getting yourself into if you sign up to a Lingoda course or Lingoda lessons, and how I found it. So I personally wanted to use Lingoda because I wanted to improve my Spanish, porque en el verano que viene voy a viajar a Sudamérica y México también, y quiero hablar español mejor porque quiero hablar con la gente ahí. And now I am able to speak like more easily in Spanish, and I want to be able to speak Spanish without thinking as much. My tenses are all over the place, but I feel like they're in English. Grammar is not the one. But that was the main reason I wanted to learn Spanish a bit more fluently. So with regards to the prices of the Lingoda classes, so I personally did a sprint last year, so like at the start of this academic year. I still work in academic years because I teach at a university. So like October 2023, I joined a sprint, which is where you do a lesson pretty much every other day. So you do 15 lessons a month. And if you do that for 3 months, without missing anything and like following the rules of, I think it's not more than 5 lessons in a week, and you can't have like 2 lessons a day, things like that, then you get either half your money back or credits to take forward. And credits to take forward for more classes is like a lot more valuable than the half price that you'd get back. And then if you do the sprint, that is a lesson every day for 3 months again. And if you complete that, you get all of your money back or more credits towards other lessons. So I don't want to say like the prices of things. I'll put on like a screen share of what the current prices are, but this is true as of February 2024. There's also like influencer codes. If you type into YouTube influencers that use Lingoda, I personally used Unjaded Jade's code. Yeah, it gets you a bit of money off. So apart from the sprint and the super sprint, you can have different classes, so pay for a set of classes. So this is all in like British pounds because that's what it's set up for on my Lingoda, but you can buy them in blocks and then you can use them sort of like as and when. So at the moment I completed the sprint at the start of this academic year, and I'm going through the free class credits now, so I had 40 class credits. I'm not going to be able to use them all because I had January off because I had a load of work done at my house. I'm working my way through those. They finish when I go to Australia, so I think that when I come back from Australia and before I go to South America, I will buy just like classes and have some classes like 2 a week leading up to me going away. So how Lingoda works: before you decide which classes you're doing, so you've paid for either your sprint, your super sprint, or you've bought some classes, you sit, not like an exam, but you sit like a little test, so it tells you which level, like what level your language is at. This can be, you can be basic, like you could not have done that language at all, or you can be like nearly fluent. So when you've taken the test, it will give you your level of language. So I will pop them here, all the different language levels that you can get. So my Spanish out of that was an A2.2, and I'm nearly at B now because I've nearly finished the 50 classes that are in the A2.2. And then from that, you then get different classes depending on the level of your language. So you then go to book classes. So classes are 24 hours a day because there's students from all over the world, and the classes are based on Zoom. So you need an internet connection that works, and you need Zoom and ideally a camera, but you definitely need a microphone. And you just log into your account, go onto book classes, and then down the left-hand side of the page will be the different lessons that are in your level. And then over on the right hand side, you can select them based on the day, the time, and then you just book onto the class. Depending on if you're doing the super sprint or if you're doing just booked classes, you have like a period of time that you can cancel the class and be refunded, but check for individual classes and depending on what program you're on. So then before the class, you get access to a PowerPoint presentation, which is the content of the class. So I personally download that onto my iPad and go through any unknown learn words that I'm not sure about before the session so that I have more of an idea of what's going on. And there are also flashcards that you can do as well for vocab for that like particular area. And then during the class, this is based on my like A2.2, by the way. So like I'm at a conversational level of Spanish. I don't know what it's like for people who are on like a 1.1 because I didn't come into it a beginner, but I imagine it follows the same format, just not necessarily all in the target language. You sign on via Zoom, so your sign-on link appears 5 minutes before the class starts. You then start the class, and usually the teacher, who is a native Spanish speaker, either in like mainland Europe or Latin America, are the main places. Do they speak Spanish anywhere else? Maybe the Philippines? But the main Spanish speakers I've had have been in Latin America. So they usually introduce themselves, say where they're from, and then tell you a bit about themselves. And then they then invite the rest of the class to introduce themselves. So you normally say your name, where you're from, where you live, because quite often people are living in different countries to where they're from. And then you say, you know, they might say, where do you work? Are you studying? And then they say, why do you want to learn Spanish, for example? And I think that's really nice because then it can allow the teacher to have some insight into why you're there, and also if there's anything in particular that you want help with as well, the Spanish teacher can also, or you know, whichever languages teacher, I've only done Spanish, can help you with there. Then during the class you go through the PowerPoint that's been sent to you, and the teacher shares it on the screen, and you take it in turns to talk. Everyone gets a go to talk. If you feel too out of your depth, you can always, you know, the next class switch down a level, but I found the level that the little test came out with was quite accurate, and I've not struggled in any of the classes, but I've not felt that they're too easy either, so I think it's a good balance. During the class, the teachers always ask you if you've got any questions. They make sure that you're understanding, and they're always open to being asked questions as well. And I'd say make sure you ask questions because then you get the most out of the class that you can. Then after the session, the teacher gives you feedback, so you have to fill in feedback for them for you to get their feedback, and it's really useful because it tells you what you need to learn, what you've done well on, and what you can look at more in the future. You can then review the material after the session as well, and also go over any flashcards to learn vocabulary. So that's the basic setup of the Lingoda class. So would I recommend Lingoda? I would definitely recommend Lingoda. I would say my Spanish has improved massively over the past sort of like 5 months. I feel a lot more confident in speaking Spanish, and I feel that I am ready to move up to like the B1 level. This British summer, I'm going to Central and South America, and my goal is to like be as near as possible to fluent by the time I come back. This is my aim, because I would like to travel to more of South America in the future. They do have very different accents though in Argentina. I'll just have to get used to it, won't I? So I feel like Lingoda has helped me lots with that. I feel like when I come back from South America after the summer, to be able to keep up conversation level of Spanish, I would like to carry on using Lingoda as well. But you never know, I might be able to do this video in Spanish this time next year. We shall see, we shall see. So that's all I have to say on Lingoda. I hope this has helped you if you are querying whether to use Lingoda or not. I would personally recommend. As I say, this is absolutely not sponsored in any way. I have just really enjoyed the experience. I found it really useful. If you have any questions regarding Lingoda, pop them in the comments below. The information that I'm talking about is going to be related to my experience of Lingoda. So I have been doing the level A2.2 Spanish. Other levels and different languages may be different, so please take this as my opinions only and my experience only. Other people may have different experiences. And if you have done Lingoda as well, pop any comments you have down below on how you found it. And thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.